If it goes live, is it gonna do it?
We're live.
We're live.
Oh, it's taking a while to tell me. Oh, hey, here we are. We're live. Welcome everybody. Welcome Sci-Fi Sunday, guys. And tonight I am joined by my good friend Trenchy, the soulless Trench. My other good pal Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. My other good pal. It's been a long time. We got Trash Picture Show from the Trash Picture Show. Marty, dude, welcome. And DMC Campbell also in the house.
Yay.
Welcome. And yeah, we're talking about the X-Files, guys. You guys familiar with this show much?
Sort of.
I am. I loved this fucking show growing up. This was part of my youth, and I think I traversed from boyhood to manhood thanks to Gillian Anderson in this show and her like really tight fucking suit jackets and stuff. It's like, yeah. But yeah, no, I love the X-Files growing up. It was brilliant. I had a big crush on Agent Scully growing up. I may have also written fanfics about me rescuing Agent Scully, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, everybody.
Hey!
Thanks, Ethel.
Hello. And then we're also joined by American Werewolf in New Jersey. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. I saw you were in the thing, and I'm like, I should put out a link in the chat, see who can join, and yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, this is my all-time favorite show.
No, perfect. Then like that makes for a great mix because I'm pretty big into the show as well. Marty's a bit big into the show. Trench likes a couple episodes. CMC likes the show. Like Jen's got familiarity with it as well. So
a little bit.
I actually went to one of the X-Files conventions back when they had the first movie out in New York City. It was pretty cool.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, I'm actually that old, so.
But it is great. Of course, the X-Files, long-running show. It ran 9 seasons initially, and then it would get 2 little teeny tiny baby seasons, little short, like six episode type deals. But it ran 1993, 2002. Created by Chris Carter, the same guy who did Millennium.
Another great series.
Oh yeah, and has a connection to this show too, because there was an episode of this show that's sort of a back end finale to Millennium.
Yeah, I could always see them being set in the same universe. I think another character called Jose Chung actually appeared in both shows. Yeah. He was kind of this dime-back kind of crime / mystery novelist, and he was in both shows.
Yeah, wasn't it? There's an episode. I think it's what is it? Shades of, or is it? Help me out here, Marty. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's like
there was the Strange Case of Ho Chun where in the X-Files, and then there was Jose Chung becomes the target of a serial killer, and I think he dies in that episode. I forget the actor. I think he was a famous comedian who played him. American Werewolf. Do you know who played Jose Chung in those? In those episodes.
It was Charles Nelson Riley, and the X-Files episode was Jose Chung's From Outer Space. They actually had Jesse Ventura and Alex Trebek. They were the Men in Black in that episode.
Oh yeah. You're getting sleepy.
Yeah.
Alex Trebek.
The game show host? Just saying you look like Alex Trebek.
But
go
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you mentioned the Millennium Show, and I don't think that show got nearly enough credit. Mulder and Scully were getting all the smoke back in the 90s, but Chris Carter was doing this much darker thing back then that was just fantastic, and it was like one of the best shows that nobody ever watched.
Yeah, for such a short-lived show, there was so many copycats. I mean, Profiler, and sorry about this, Ethel, because I know we're going off topic, but there was Profiler. There was so many other shows that really wanted to try and kind of ape or copy Millennium, but it was such good, and in no small part to Lance Henriksen's performance. Yeah. And there was so many great episodes, like The Owls and the Roosters. That's another good one. Beware of the Dog. There's another one that's kind of a pre-Scream one where they're making a movie based on a murder, but then the murderer's using methods and motives from movie killers. Like, there's this fantastic bit where this FBI agent and Frank Black are sitting down, and Frank is watching a bunch of horror movies. He's watching Nightmare on Elm Street. He's watching he's watching Halloween. He's like, oh, obvious case of bad parental guys, schizophrenia. No, it's Freddy Krueger. He's the bastard son of 1,000 maniacs. That's all there is to it. I love that. But yeah, guys, if you get a chance, definitely check out Millennium as well. Sorry about that, Ethel. I think Millennium needs a fair shake as well.
It's worth mentioning because that's the other notable thing that Chris Carter did. Like, you'd think like a guy who did the X-Files, like you're going to look at his resume and you're going to find show after show after show and movie after movie. No, it's like X-Files, 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 X-Files. Then you got Millennium sitting right there. So, yeah, it's definitely worth mentioning. And, obviously, the two stars of this show, we got David Duchovny playing Fox Mulder, and we got Gillian Anderson playing Dana Scully, and everybody. Oh, what?
Oh, no, just Gillian Anderson. Jen, I love you. I gotta say, my first ever big true love was like Gillian Anderson. That was probably the first woman I ever probably busted a nut to. I'm being shocked. I know I'm being shocked in here, but Gillian Anderson, holy shit. Sorry, I cannot emphasize how much of a crush I had on this woman. It was just, oh, God. Sorry.
That's sweet.
Tangent over.
I remember.
Okay, well.
I remember back in, it was late 93, early 94. I think it was Playboy magazine that they did a interview with Gillian Anderson and subsequent mini photo shoot, and they were talking about her, and they listed her as one of the what was it, the thinking man's centerfold or whatever, because she was more of a classy kind of I don't know, celebrity crush that a lot of guys had at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you turn on the X-Files, she wouldn't be like half. Yeah, you turn on the X-Files, she wouldn't be like half naked with her yabos hanging out, you know?
No, she wouldn't. Right. Although in the pilot, she was in her underwear for one particular scene.
In the white robe, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah. She's one of the great female leads in sci-fi horror. You know, Dana Scully. The Dana Scully character is just one of the tops. I put her up there with Ellen Ripley or Sarah Connor. I mean, I know, she only did the two. They did the two movies, but she kicked ass all the time, and I thought it was great that Mulder couldn't fight, but she could. She was the one, who was doing the shooting or the punching or the kicking most of the time when Mulder was getting his ass kicked. So it was, she was just fantastic all the way around.
In fairness, in the first 3 seasons, she did get landed with the damsel in distress kind of thing when she had been captured by tombs. She was captured by a cult. Dwayne Barry, the guy who abducted her, and but after that, she kind of they kind of did away with that. But again, the character of Dana Scully, like who originally she was going to be a doctor, and then I think she was a pathologist. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah,
something
again,
like that,
as you said, a werewolf, one of the best and often nowadays forgotten kind of sci-fi heroines.
Yeah, people don't know too much about the X-Files anymore. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was agreeing, and I was to say there's also something very notable about the character. She inspired a lot of young women to grow up and join police forces, to get involved in law enforcement, and to get involved in the medical field. They even dubbed this the Scully effect.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's awesome. She was awesome. That's just an awesome character. And you couldn't have known 30 years ago that Gillian Anderson was just going to get better and better and better, as an actor or an actress, moving into Hannibal. And then, there's so many different things. She's fantastic.
Yeah, of course, she was also in Bleak House, and she was also in Crisis and The Turning.
What was the series where she was the police officer? It's a British serial killer series, The Descent.
Christ, it's actually a British-Irish co-production.
Yeah.
The Fall.
The Fall. Oh, man.
She's really good in that as well.
Oh, man. That's one of the darkest crime stories I've ever seen. And it was just, the British, they over there, you guys do that really well, where you'll have a whole season and it'll just be like 4 episodes or like 5 episodes, and it's just very concise. But oh man, she's good in that.
Yeah, she's awesome in it. She's kind of been anglicized of late because she's turning up in the Royals as well. She played Margaret Thatcher, if I'm not mistaken, in the Royals.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was great in that too.
Which not to ignore co-star David Duchovny, who was he was also no stranger to
in the Red Shoe Diaries.
Exactly.
And then that show I am way more familiar with than the X-Files, because of course I am. I knew who David Duchovny was because of because I was that kid. I was like way more. My mom was an X-Files person. I was a Red Shoe Diaries girl. And I was like, the dude from Red Shoe Diaries is in a sci-fi show? Okay. He was kind of good. I didn't have like a major crush on him, but I did know him from Red Shoe Diaries, and I thought, not a bad actor. So
yeah, Jen with the Jake Winter poster on her wall. They love David.
Look, babe, if you wanted to bust a nut to fucking David Duchovny, it's only fair. It's only fair, babe.
I thought he was a good looking guy. I never had exactly a crush on him, but I just thought it was kind of a weird thing, because I was like, I could see him more as a Red Shoe Diary kind of guy than a X-Files guy. I was like, that's a weird casting choice.
Well, he was also a DEA agent in the TV show Twin Peaks as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a less remembered role of David Duchovny, he was Bruce in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dad.
Yes, he was.
Oh
God.
Great movie. I like that movie.
That movie's hilarious.
He was actually in an Ivan Reitman movie called Evolution.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. Yeah. He did another weird one too with Mimi Rogers called The Rapture. It's kind of about
Which one's the one he did with the aliens? Can you remember a second?
Evolution.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it. So you had them, but you also as one of the primary cast members, not a star, but in a lot of the episodes, you had Mitch Pileggi as Walter Skinner. who you guys will remember him. The horror fans will remember him. He was in Shocker. He was Boris Brinker in Shocker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great role.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a scary movie.
He was also in an episode of he's also in a couple episodes of Supernatural. And he was Colonel Stephen Caldwell in Stargate Atlantis.
Very cool.
Yeah, what was the ship? What was the main flagship he was in charge of in that episode? The Daedalus?
Was it the Pegasus? Because I know they were in the Pegasus.
Yeah, it was the Pegasus. You're right.
I always feel like I'm getting it confused because they were in the Pegasus Galaxy in Atlantis. But maybe that's why they call it that. But I don't. Atlantis, not my favorite Stargate spinoff. I much prefer SG-1 and Universe, but you know.
What was the one with MacGyver?
That was Stargate SG-1. The very handsome Richard Dean Anderson, who just got better with age.
Okay. Yeah.
And didn't he become like a colonel in the end or something? He left in the later series, so that's when it moved to Atlantis.
Did he?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Now, did he play the Kurt Russell role from the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people like Kurt Russell better as that character, but I actually like Richard Dean better in the role.
Yeah, he did a better part. Yeah.
I don't know. I found him more likable.
What's not to like? He's a cool character.
He was MacGyver.
Yeah.
And of course, also a big part of this show, we had William B. Davis playing CSM, the cigarette smoking man.
Yeah,
another great character.
One of the great underrated villains.
It's a favorite episode.
Go ahead.
Do you remember the episode Memoirs of the Cigarette Smoking Man? Where Yeah, he killed JFK. He killed fucking Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
that was like, oh fuck, this thing's good. And I think it's for Hickey, or it's one of the lone gunmen that's compiling it, and he's about to kill him, and he goes, well, you know what? If this guy releases it, at least someone will remember me, because it kind of points out that he hates being in the background. He's been involved in all these historical changes, but as a result, no one's ever going to remember him, and he's going to die alone. So that's why I think he lets poor Hickey live, because it's like, I've nothing. I've no fucking legacy.
And he has a go at being an author as well, a writer. He writes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. When
he was going to quit, but then they take over his idea, and he goes, well, "I'm going back to being a behind-the-scenes guy again."
When he gave that life is like that spin on life is like a box of chocolates, that spin on that speech for Forrest Gump, that was just fantastic the first time I heard that.
And this was not his only thing. William B. Davis, he was in a lot of stuff. People might remember me perhaps briefly mentioning him a few streams ago when we were talking about Airwolf. He was Newman in Airwolf.
Okay.
And if you're a big fan of the It franchise, especially the made-for-TV movie from 1990, the original, he was Mr. Gedru in It.
I don't remember. I just saw that recently too. I don't remember him in that. Huh?
Who was he in that?
Huh? That's a good version.
Mr. Gedru.
Huh? Okay.
And he was also Judge Harrison in 21 Jump Street, the original show.
Oh,
that was a great show.
And he was also in an episode of Sliders. He was in the episode Eggheads. He was Professor Myman in the episode of Sliders, Eggheads. He was Dr. Bill Nagel in Poltergeist: The Legacy. in the episode "Do Not Go Jet." If you guys remember Poltergeist: The Legacy,
vaguely.
Yeah, very vaguely.
No, I didn't catch it.
That's another one of those shows that sort of fell down the old memory hole. And Stargate SG-1 Connection. He was also one of the Ori priors in Stargate SG-1.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And if that wasn't enough, I also have a supernatural connection. He was a college professor in the episode Scarecrow of Supernatural. And also, I could further connect him to yet another show. I could connect him to Xena by stating that he was also the acting teacher for Lucy Lawless.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
So, who also was in the X-Files. She was the hell was she in the X-Files? She was in one of the later episodes, or two of the later episodes. She was
some kind of super soldier. She was some kind of engineered super soldier. I do remember that.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, she was Shannon McMahon in 2 episodes of the X-Files. So that's kind of cool. So you got a cool little connection there. Of course, we'll be talking more about her later in a different stream, in a future stream, when we get to that wonderful world of Raimi and Tappert. Yeah, it's an iconic show, and there was a lot going on with it. I could have kept going with cast members because I didn't even touch on the lone gunman as far as like the actors who play them, but. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight the main characters, and I feel like those 4 are the primary characters. When you think X-Files, you think of, obviously Mulder, Scully, but you think of Skinner, you think of Cigarette Smoking Man. You know what? You think of Robert Patrick, you think of Doggett.
Oh, yeah.
I love that line from the lone gunman, like, tell Scully I'm buff. It's like the data one that's always got like the hot syrup.
Yeah.
I don't know if people remember Robert Patrick being in the X-Files because he wasn't in since the beginning. He was just in those later seasons. Was it the last 2 seasons or was it just the last season?
He was partnered with Minnie Rogers, if I'm not mistaken. He was partnered with her. Basically, Mulder and Scully were kicked off the X-Files, I think, and it was like another character as well who was so fucking annoying. Like it turned out to be Mulder's half brother and like the fucking son of the cigarette smoking man.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Spender.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That
Jeffrey
guy was such
Spender.
a fucking knob.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, he was.
He did come around, but it was too fucking late.
Yeah, he did. Robert Patrick really held his own in that show, though, man. I mean, that could have easily fallen apart, but he the way he becomes the skeptic and like Scully becomes the believer, that could have been like such a flop, but they made it work.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Interestingly enough, Robert Patrick says that this was his favorite role as Doggett. He really liked playing that particular character.
The great thing about that show is that you never knew what you were going to get from week to week. It could have been a vampire. It could have been the Jersey Devil. It could have been a government conspiracy episode. I mean, no matter from week to week, it just changed. Everything, wholly original monsters. I mean, it was fantastic. It must have been so much fun.
I liked that as well, but I felt as the show went on, they kind of got mixed up in the kind of lore with the black goo and the kind of the sewn up aliens, and and the whole overarching conspiracy. I love the Monster of the Week episodes. Like there's like primary example. There's a great episode that kind of takes off John Carpenter's The Thing called Ice.
Oh
if you
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen that episode, I think it has is it Felicity Huffman? I think it does one of the Desperate Housewives before she was in the Desperate Housewives. So I digress. Another fantastic fucking episode.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time we got to like Lucy Lawless, like in the 8th or 9th season, the show had kind of become it was kind of a parody, kind of sort of.
Yeah.
The Jersey Devil, that was the first season. They were actually here in Jersey. I remember they were filming on the Atlantic City Expressway. That was like the first season, and nobody knew, what the show was, except for a few people back then that were kind of watching it from the get-go. But they were like, hey, that new show, they're filming right here, which was 20 minutes from my house. That was really cool when that happened.
And that, it's kind of funny. We mentioned this episode in the back room because Trench, this is one of the episodes he's seen and he liked. Was the Jersey Devil. I think that was that episode 6 or 7? I know it was season 1, kind of early on.
Yeah, it was a fairly early episode, Ethel.
And Trench, what were you saying about
it? My bad. I like how they kind of subverted expectations when instead of the Jersey Devil being the monster from lore, it's like this child thing, if I remember right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was like a prehistoric. It was like a prehistoric man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucks up Mulder. I like that too. It fucks up Mulder and attacks him. It was a fun episode.
The thing was, I don't think he wanted to kill him, and I think it turned out to be maybe werewolf. You're right. It's a throwback or some kind of feral woman. It actually wanted to mate with Mulder, if I'm not mistaken. And then we find out at the end that there's kids. There's a bunch of kids. Again, who wouldn't want to fuck David Duchovny, feral or not? Jen, go on, admit it. You'll jump his bones, right? That nose alone. You'd grab his nostrils.
He was all right. He was all right. He was a good-looking guy, but he was fine.
Hey, Jen has standards.
Yay! I'm not qualified for standards.
Dooms. Oh God. Yeah, those were good episodes.
Just think, guys. For Halloween, you and Jen, Marty, you could go as Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
Great.
Be fun.
Or Mulder and Jersey Devil.
Oh God.
They do the McMillan and wife crossover episode. I'm looking forward to that. Is that in the new rejuvenated series?
Hopefully this will be one thing that they just leave it alone and don't reboot or some bullshit.
It's in the hands of current day Hollywood, so we're at their complete mercy.
Didn't they already reboot it though?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Not necessarily rebooted, but they had a couple seasons.
They did, and I was a bit bummed out because I thought there were going to be new kind of Freak of the Week episodes, and there was one or two, but primarily it was kind of continuing the kind of fucking the long-form conspiracy about how Mulder and Scully had an engineered child called William. And fucking kid turned out to be a member of the fucking X-Men. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Wait, what? This is connected to the X-Men universe?
No.
He's like superpowered kid.
They had a few Monster of the Weeks on there though there was a demonic episode that they did that's one of their scariest. I think in that 11th season or something like that, and it was just It was scary as fuck, man. Holy shit.
Is that the one with the people being put underneath clay, like in Bucket of Blood?
No, this was about some familiar out in the woods and like witchcraft or something like that. And it was like this witch was summoning demons, and it was just it's freaky. And I can't remember the name of the demon presents as like this almost like a television character on a child's show, except it's like the scariest looking like kids character of all time. I can't remember what it's called. Oh man.
It's I always thought that the show it worked best when they do these sorts of Monster of the Week episodes. I didn't like it when they'd have two-parters or they'd have an over arc or a story arc that last over the course of the season. I hated it when they did that. Like I wanted it to just be every week you got the adventures of Mulder and Scully doing something different every week.
These conspiracy episodes sort of played out by the end of the 6th season, but they just kept spinning it, and it just kept going and going, and they went like at least another 3 seasons, and then they came back again with 2 more, and that was half of that storyline. So yeah, they took it too far.
It's like it's weird because like you watch season 1 and season 2, and it's more about the Monster of the Week kind of concept, and it's I'm not sure. What do you guys think led them to follow that route to change the format in such a way?
I've kind of fucking I've tagged a thing to the J.J. Abrams effect, whereas you have this big long story arc, but you yourself don't know where the fuck it's going. But you have to keep going because the fans are like, oh, what's this? The black goo. Oh, the black goo is alien blood. Oh, the aliens aren't really aliens, they're engineered. These are the real aliens. I was like, go in and go in. This shit sure as hell bunnied like fuck. And it's like, oh, they don't. And I think by the 8th season, I was like, yeah, they don't really know what they're fucking doing. They're just making this shit up as they're going along.
It's weird. Like I look back because before, like, and I'll get to the end. I'll get to the list at the end of this episode. I'll get to the end of the list. But I compiled a list of episodes I'd recommend to people who haven't really seen the show or have like a passing interest and maybe seen 1 or 2 episodes. But I noticed that when I was compiling the list, most of these are standalones. Very, very little has to do with like a long-term story arc.
It's streaming on Hulu now. The whole series. Ooh. So I mean, you don't have to have it. You don't have to like I have them all, but I mean, you don't have to. It's if you have Hulu, you can watch any of them right now.
The other thing is, if you go into any kind of charity shop or secondhand shop or Salvation's Army, chances are you'll probably find a box set of the X-Files because they're like fucking easy to come across now. Like I came across a complete season for like €5, all the episodes and one of the movies, and like so just if you hunt around you'll find it.
I did like the small change of Mulder's character that you got to see, because obviously he starts off believing in aliens, but as the show goes on and he just can't get the evidence to prove that there's something out there, he gets so skeptical that he sort of becomes Scully in a way for a few episodes. He sort of turns his back on that, and even says to the people that he's questioning, he comes across as Scully, like that could be a natural explanation for that. So he actually becomes Scully for a little bit, his character.
They do sort of
downtrodden.
You're right, DMC, and they do sort of do a role reversal for a few episodes, because Scully, this is like during that same time, that same plot line where Scully has the implant, she's sick, and then there's the aliens, but then there's also the guys with the flamethrowers. If you recall that story arc.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. The flamethrowers. That reminds me of Krychek.
Oh, he's my favorite character.
Yeah, DMC Krychek. There you go. Okay. Yeah, what a great villain he was, man.
So he's not black and white. He can be like sort of good and then bad. You know, in the middle.
I was delighted when that fucking wanker got his arm cut off in Tenguska. I'm just gonna say that.
No. Oh, it's sad.
Yeah, that was rough, man. That was rough. Oh man, yeah, but he was a fantastic Nicholas Leah. He was a fantastic character, man. Just you're absolutely right. Not all the way evil, not all the way. Certainly not all the way good, but whew, what a bastard.
He did push the cancer man down the stairs in his wheelchair, which I thought was an awesome scene. You're going straight to hell. Pushes him.
Yeah.
I would honestly, John, I would recommend Paperclip. I would recommend Paperclip for conspiracy. Guys, any conspiracy episodes you'd like to recommend?
Anasazi.
Yeah, that's just the one that I was going to say.
Either a 2 or 3 part episode, and Mulder had come across evidence that there was experiments done in the Nevada desert? Like a kind of train car full of I don't know if they were extraterrestrials or if they were hybrids. But that's a good episode, and that's like a 3-parter, and like when Mulder's shot, and the X-Files might be shut down, and there's a great Native American character, and it's called is the actor named Floyd Red Cow? Or is it the character? I don't know.
No, that's the name of the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking a minute ago about the role reversals from Mulder and Scully, from skeptic or from believer to skeptic and skeptic to believer. It's funny because in the show, primarily we all know that Scully is the skeptic. She believes in truth and facts and science and what she can see and what's tangible and whatnot. And Mulder is the believer. He knows that they're out there. He wants to believe the things that he hears. But in real life, David Duchovny is actually a skeptic. He does not believe in aliens or the supernatural. And Gillian Anderson is actually the more apt believer. She believes in more sort of the spiritual type stuff and the supernatural, and that aliens are out there visiting Earth.
Seems reasonable.
That's cool that they kind of
maybe not these days, but it seems reasonable. Sorry, Jen.
Oh no.
And the number of people they lose in their life, no wonder they got close. Like Mulder loses his dad, gets shot by Krychek, and then Scully loses his sister, gets shot by
Krychek. How many people there are prick ice? It's like, God damn it.
Somebody was asking a couple of questions ago, a good conspiracy episode. I'm thinking of the Erlenmeyer flask.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one too. From the first season. The first season.
That's actually one of the ones. Erlenmeyer flask is actually one of the ones I recommended. And let's see, where did I put it? It was season 1, episode 24. It was the season finale.
Yeah, with the Deep Throat character.
Yeah. Ethel, which of Mulder's contacts did you prefer, Deep Throat or Mr. X?
Well, they both have sort of suggestive names, but I'm going to prefer Deep Throat just because of the reference. That leads right into one of my facts. This concept for this show was inspired by a movie called what the hell is it called? I'm losing my train of thought. It was inspired by, if I can find my my notes in here, All
the President's Men, was it the one with Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman?
Yes, All the President's Men, which is about the Watergate scandal. Where did I have that down there? I have that written down somewhere in my notes, but as per usual, I've taken way too many notes because it's a big subject.
It's like 11 seasons and 2 movies.
Yeah, and the movies are pretty good. I like the first one though. The first one's my choice of the movies.
I prefer the first one. I actually had a simultaneous audience experience at the first movie. So I don't know. I think the majority of people who went to see this were X-Files fans, obviously. And Mulder and Scully were about to kiss, and they didn't. And I went, oh fuck! But not only me, it was rows upon rows of people going, ah shit, fuck, shit. And Irish people don't do that. So it was obviously very passionate X-Files. Like, for fuck's sake, how many seasons do they still have them hooked up?
Wasn't there a petition, like fans made a petition?
There's
each other? Like I had heard about that. That there was fans that made a petition about them wanting to marry each other.
I don't know. I
didn't hear about that yet.
I thought I had heard something about that.
Probably.
It was like the height of shipping when shipping wasn't a thing. Like people really wanted Scott and Mulder to get together, and it's actually the relationship between Scully and Mulder, the sort of sexual tension. Are they going to ever get together? Chris Carter has said that his idea for them having that kind of relationship was inspired by Moonlighting, except he vowed to never really get them together.
Makes sense.
Like he purposefully wanted to draw it out for as long as possible.
That was the thing about Moonlighting. Once they hooked up, the show kind of fell apart.
Yeah, which is too bad. And I don't think I blame that on them getting together, really. I think I blame it on the writers not knowing what to do once they got them together. Because it could have worked if they'd gone about it differently. But that's a subject for a different stream. Because not very supernatural or science fiction about that show.
Remember that episode where that guy could electrocute people? He was like a young kid and he had a crush on this guy's wife.
Giovanni
Ribisi.
Yeah. That's
everybody was in an X-File. Everyone.
It's what you did if you were an actor in the 90s.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston.
I wrote a really bad fanfic for like the fucking cigarette smoking man, like fucking gets pissed off and he's like, I gotta stop Mulder and Scully now. So he goes to this facility and you had like fucking Sinister Six job. You had Giovanni Ribisi's character there. You had a dude who could make like a fucking combustible kind of, who could burn people. He had.
I remember that guy. Yeah.
Man, and like fucking pure Sinister Six job. He's like, go kill. They put you in here. Go kill him. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write this and send it in to Chris Carter, and I'm gonna make a fortune. I'm like, I didn't, but man can dream.
Yeah, you're right, Scott Stevens. Lily Tomlin was in. She was in that. She was in that Christmas episode
with Ed Asner. Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually one of my. That's another one of the episodes I recommended, which I keep getting to it early because you guys keep going there. Not your fault. It just happens to be a happy coincidence that the episodes I recommended are ones people like. So yeah.
Good.
I don't know. They're good for a reason. Of course, the show filmed in Vancouver primarily, as was. Popular to do in the day, and as we mentioned in a previous stream, pioneered by the show Viper. Surprises, Another cool thing about the show, if you watch the opening credits, and you look real closely, when they show like the FBI badges.
Yeah.
Well, they instead of saying they say Federal Bureau of Justice, United States Department of Investigation, where they should say Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Department of Justice. This is because even though it's just a prop for a TV show, it's actually highly illegal to make a fake FBI badge or any other government badge, even if you're just doing it for television. And it's punishable with it carries a minimum sentence of a year in prison.
Shit.
At this point, you should have made Mulder and Scully like honorary FBI people anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at least they didn't do like Waco, or any of that other kind of crap. They did a better job than probably half the FBI. Fucking Ruby Ridge, motherfuckers.
I'm wondering though, Ethel, like with Star Trek, did like applications for the FBI shoot up, like the way like people wanted to be part of NASA because of Star Trek? Did this, like we were saying with Gillian Anderson, people wanted to become doctors and stuff. I wonder, did the FBI recruitment like shoot up and like, maybe they gave them a bit of help, or maybe they gave Chris Carter access to certain locations just because it was kind of promoting or bolstering the recruitment for the bureau.
I wouldn't be surprised, because I mean I would argue that X-Files has done more to put like a positive spin on the FBI than they'd ever had in their entire existence.
More than Janet Reno.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I know, like, all right, look, I know we had Greatest American Hero. We had that, but that's a comedy, and that didn't really. I don't know if that really put a shot in the arm for the FBI, but yeah, it's there. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but while we're on the subject, the quasi subject of the opening credits, the theme music where it's got that cool little echoey chord, that do chord.
Yeah,
that's actually an accident. The composer, who I have his name written down, and if I can find it, I'll tell you right in a second. The Mark Snow was the guy who composed that theme, and he had his keyboard set to the echo function, and he's trying to write the theme song, and he ended up resting his elbow on the keyboard by accident, and he got that chord just by sheer accident. And he liked it so much, he rewrote what he was working on to incorporate that into the theme, and that's where we got the theme song.
They're playing the keyboard like this. Like,
a happy accident.
But it's kind of cool. Another cool thing, like another cool behind the scenes kind of thing, is when auditioning for the role of Dana Scully, Gillian Anderson actually lied about her age. She said she was 4 years older than she was at the time, because if she'd actually come out with her real age, she would have been too young for the role, and they would have refused her. So, she pretended to be 4 years older, and she got the role.
Nice.
And that's kind of cool. And conversely, oh, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, and conversely, David Duchovny, when he went to his audition and he got the role, he's credited his success with landing that role in the first place with this tie he wore to the audition. He wore like this tie, and it had little pink pigs on it, and he says that was key to him getting the job and becoming Fox Mulder. So I don't know.
Was it a lucky tie?
He doesn't say, but he noted that there were little pink pigs on it, and he seemed really confident, and that was what got it. He says it's key to landing the role.
That show is a weird example of perfect casting in terms of the stars. I mean, they just got it absolutely right. That doesn't happen very often.
Ethel, I'm probably sidetracking you again, but I gotta ask, and you probably had it written down anyway. But favorite monster or creature from the one-off episodes, who would yours be?
Oh, well, you know what? It's not all right. It's not really a creature or a monster. I really like the computer program, the AI intelligence from the episode Kill Switch, which is actually my favorite episode.
Cool.
Which I don't know if you guys remember that episode or not.
Yeah, I remember
it. Is that the one that starts off with the guy? He's going into the bar to shut the system down, and the computer tricks two gangs into coming into the bar or coffee shop, killing each other, and he's caught in the crossfire. That one, Ethel, because that's a really good episode.
Yeah. The virus calls up. I think it was two. It was 2 or 3 gangs, and tells them to meet in this coffee where the guy is trying to shut the virus down or the AI down with his laptop, and he gets obliterated in the crossfire. Huge massacre.
I was just watching it.
Yeah. Say what, Trench?
Oh yeah, I'm just watching that one. They even called up the police. The computer called up the police and told them to come because it called up like 3 gangs and the police. But I was watching
so it was 3 gangs.
That one was crazy. Yeah.
Wasn't it cool? And Trench, did you see the virtual reality thing coming or not?
No, I didn't. It was insane. Like, I don't know. That was a good episode. I'm glad you recommended it because I had only seen a few before.
I love it. That nurse, she's like, and then, whoops, there goes your legs. Which is great. Yes, great episode. The one why I recommend it. Got a bunch of other ones I'm going to recommend. But what else was I going to say? Another cool behind the scenes thing that some people might not be familiar with. You guys probably already know, but no secret. David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, kind of a height difference. You can't really see it as much in the action figures. But she's quite a bit shorter than David. So in scenes where they're together, she would actually stand on a box so that she'd be a little taller. And the crew dubbed this the Jilly box. And sometimes she'd forget it was there and she'd actually trip over it.
Oh.
So it's a wonder she didn't take a nasty spill and like really screw herself up in the filming of the show, all because of her Jilly box.
She was the main guest at the X-Files convention. This was just when they were about to release the first movie because David Duchovny wasn't there. So like Stephen Williams and X, and she was the highlight, person to come out and speak. Yeah, she's tiny. She's tiny.
Yeah,
like 5'1" or 5'2" or something. I don't know. I saw her from a distance. It wasn't like the cons today where you can go right up and approach them. They spoke from a podium, and talked about things. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. And of course, when they were at the Academy Awards, they held each other's hands the whole time. And receiving the award, they all thanked, whoever got them there and everything. And David Duchovny thanked her profusely for being a great co-star and whatnot. And after the end of the awards, after they'd been up to the podium, she was swearing and cussing backstage, and people thought something was seriously wrong, like she was upset about something. She was upset because she forgot to thank David Duchovny out of everybody she thanked.
Sounds like a married couple to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, despite their chemistry on screen, they actually, because of long shooting hours, would often bicker behind the cameras. Much like a married couple.
Yeah, just like a married couple, yeah.
Ben Grimm, that's actually my favorite monster. He was called the Fluke Man. The creature was the Fluke Man. It lived in the sewer. I love that creature. I always want to get my hands on the McFarlane statuette. And one thing I always thought was funny, right, was they capture it halfway through the episode and they have it in a straitjacket, and you're like, the fuck are you gonna do with this thing?
Remember they
fucking straitjacket? It's a fucking humanoid.
Didn't it originate from Chernobyl or something?
Yeah, it was Chernobyl. Yeah, remember when they were trying to send it to a psychiatric hospital? Remember
yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Honest to God, I think the cigarette smoking man should have had a facility to keep them all in there and like make his own suicide squad or
like the Raft. Yeah, like the Raft. in the MCU or something like that, just out there in the middle of the fucking ocean,
Sinister Six kind of job. I should have done my Sinister Six story.
I think one of the interesting monsters was when Scully and Mulder go undercover. They move into a house in it's like an exclusive neighborhood, and they have to all follow the rules. And if you don't, like this kind of monster comes out of the dirt, and attacks you.
Oh yeah, I remember
that was a great episode. And that had I forget his name, but it had the actor who played Kubiak on Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Yeah, he doesn't turn his
He was
light
the
off
veterinarian. It's Kubiak.
And Mulder keeps trying to aggravate the housing association. He's out there shooting basketball, shooting hoops, and he sets up a basketball net. He's out there working on his free throw. People. That one guy's like freaking out trying to get him to, comply with everything. That was funny.
That was a good season, but that was definitely the turning point because I remember there was another episode that season, if I'm not mistaken, where Mulder goes to the Bermuda Triangle, travels back in time, lands on board a fucking a pleasure cruise ship during World War II, and encounters his friends and his associates, all in the guise of either Nazis or spies, and it's just such a good fucking episode. It's another great episode. Mulder finally gets to kiss Scully in it, and fucking.
It was like their Wizard of Oz or something,
Yeah.
It was like their tribute to the Wizard of Oz or some shit. Yeah. And the cigarette man was the Gestapo. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
God.
It's fun, and of course, David Duchovny, he'd eventually get his own show called Californication, and they asked him if he would ever get Gillian Anderson to be on the show and play a role in the show, and he said never.
Jesus.
And the reason is he didn't want to change the perception of them together on screen that they built in the X-Files. He wanted to protect the characters of Scully and Mulder. And on the flip side of things, they asked Gillian Anderson if she would ever be on an episode of Californication, and she said she'd do it for free.
That's such a great show.
So I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up here because you mentioned them kissing in the Bermuda Triangle episodes. I thought I'd just say that because it's kind of neat. Kind of a neat fact. Oh, another behind the scenes kind of fact about the characters, not about the actors. It's not a super secret fact, but you guys probably know this. Dana Scully's character is named after. I've never heard of him because I'm not into the sports ball, but named after a famous sports journalist called Vin Scully. And
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you know. Okay, cool. So I'm not the only one who never heard of Vin Scully.
No, I had heard of them. I just didn't know that her name was based on that. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'd never heard of him. And Fox Mulder is named after Chris Carter's mother, whose maiden name was Mulder. So
cool.
Very cool.
So it's kind of neat. So yeah, it's kind of neat. It's kind of cool. You guys mentioned that you like Krychek. You like Alex Krychek in the show.
Yeah.
The actor who played him, Nicholas Lea, he did all his own stunts in the show.
Fair Fox, because he took a hammering in that show.
Yeah, he did. That was his hand. He really lost his hand in that show. Jesus. You happy now? You happy now, Marty?
Yeah, fucking did.
You fucking
kidnapping my
Stay down there.
Son,
Somebody hold his legs.
I read about him that he went over to New Zealand and shot a movie called K2 as well, climbing a mountain. It was the one.
That one with Michael Behan.
Yeah, I think he was in it as well.
I remember that movie. Oh,
what is it with him in mountain movies? Because he's in Vertical Limit as well.
Oh, really? With Chris O'Donnell.
I think.
Yeah, he's in with Scott Glenn and fucking Christ, Ted Hudson. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Bill Paxton and Chris O'Donnell and Robin Tooney.
Bill Paxton was in that? Okay, I only saw it once when it first came out.
That's right. Yeah, it was Vertical Limit was the one where the actor Nicholas Lee went over. That's where it was shot in New Zealand. He went over there.
Ben Grimm, Evil is one of the best shows that they had one season on Netflix before they moved it over to Paramount, and I refused to buy one more streaming channel. It was so good. The guy who played Luke Cage is Mike Coulter, is one of the leads in that. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've actually not seen Evil, but it sounds interesting.
It's really, really good.
Let's see. Getting back to facts. Another neat fact, which I mean, once I say it, it'll sort of feel kind of obvious. Chris Carter has been quoted as saying that the point of view of the show is Scully's point of view, and this is because Scully is supposed to represent the audience, because audiences are naturally going to be skeptical of what they see. Hence the term suspension of disbelief.
Makes sense.
That follows.
So that's kind of cool. And another neat little fact, which if you're a fan of the band Filter, you probably know this already, but Robert Patrick, Mr. Chi 1000 himself there, is actually the brother of Richard Patrick, who is the lead singer of Filter, and whose music was on the soundtrack for the TV show and the movie.
Nice.
So, kind of cool. Kind of neat fun fact.
I think that's that episode with Giovanni Ribisi, the Nice Shot song. Yeah.
Hey, man, nice shot.
Yeah, that's the one with Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah, where he can hit people with lightning.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Jack Black is in that episode.
Really?
Yeah, Jack Black is his best friend.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Too bad we never get some Tenacious D music, huh?
that would have been better. That would have been better.
Now, this show was also ranked number 9 on Empire's 50 greatest TV shows of all time list. So, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Up there, you know.
They're only off by 8.
It really is a great show, and as dated as things can be nowadays, especially like, even if you're looking back to the not too distant past, like you look back to the '90s, it holds up. It still holds up wonderfully.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to watch it every now and again, and now that it's on Hulu, I don't have to get off the couch and like pull a DVD, pull a Blu-ray out or something like that. I can just click that way, and yeah, they're still so good.
Like there's episodes that still give me the fucking willies and scary shit. Like the episode Shapes with the werewolf on the reservation. That's a fucking brilliant episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've actually seen that one. That one's good. And there's the one with the Hills Have Eyes people.
The Home. That's the one I watched.
Yeah.
Home.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
It's the only one that was given a mature rating, and they didn't play it that much at first because of the subject matter. I watched that one.
Yeah, they banned it.
An extreme one. That's the only one I've seen.
I watched that episode when it first came out because I'm like 500 years old, and my buddy's wife was in the complex across the road from me, and she called my house, and I'm like, hello? Like during the commercial break, she's like, are you watching this? I'm like, yeah. She's like, can you come over here? Because I don't think like my buddy was like working or something like that. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, no, I changed my mind. I'll be okay. She'll like hung up the phone. But if you mention that to this day, it still freaks her out, that episode. She loves it, but she hates it at the same time.
Hey, Ethel, I have a question for you. Where does the Stephen King episode take place? The one set in Maine with the doll, the killer doll. Do you remember that one? Stephen King wrote an episode, and there's like a doll. This girl finds like a doll that's dredged up out of the sea. A fishing trawler finds it. You don't know where that one's supposed to be set? Or is it anywhere near you, or is it a fictional place, or do you remember that episode?
I remember that episode vaguely. If I heard the name of the town or whatever, I could probably tell you, or the surrounding area, I could probably tell you where it's supposed to be set. But it's been a while since I've seen that one.
I know it doesn't get destroyed. Like the fisherman picks it up again at the end of the episode, so it doesn't actually get destroyed.
I wasn't crazy about that.
Yeah, and that was it was kind of funny that you bring that up because like the episode I mentioned earlier, Kill Switch, there was a month where they had guest writers. One was Stephen King. I forget who else was it, but one of the guest writers was also the guy who wrote Kill Switch, and another guest writer was the one who wrote Bad Blood. And it was like for the whole month. So yeah, that one's a great episode. I like that one a lot too.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Which, fun fact, that's Gillian Anderson's favorite episode as well.
I can see why it would be. That's great writing.
It's a fun episode.
Yeah, with Luke Wilson.
Ethel, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Amias Beach, Maine. No, it's obviously fictional.
Yeah, that's fictional.
Amias
is fictional. I've never heard of that, and the only way that could be a real name is if it's a lake or a pond, like a beach on a lake or a pond, because then you're not going to be familiar with it from that town. But
it's probably like Castle Rock.
I think the best aspect of that episode is not the plot. It's creepy, but basically Scully goes off on vacation. And Mulder's just bored, and like she rings him up, and he's watching porn, and she goes, "What the fuck are you watching?" He goes, "Oh, Deadly Swarm, screaming. And then she comes back and goes, "Anything happened?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I've been busy at work." And a bunch of pencils fall off the ceiling, and you find that he's like 30 or 40 pencils just stuck into the roof.
It's a good episode. But that was during that month where they had guest writers. So you got 4 different episodes that had 4 different like famous writers, which is cool. Like, how many other shows can you think of that were like, hey, let's do a theme month where we get guest celebrity writers?
I'm sure anybody would have wanted to be on that at that point. That was like the high point of the show. That was the high point in the wave. Anybody would have like loved to have written something for that. That's a great credit.
Yeah, and I remember when they were doing it because, of course, and this is going to date me quite a bit, but we did pick up TV Guide regularly, and I remember the ads because I'd occasionally clip them out and I'd tape them to the VHS tapes because I was taping it on TV at the time. And it had pretty good ads. I mean, not full color because you didn't get full color ads in TV Guide. They're always black and white. You could color them in though if you had a bunch of different colored highlighters or colored pencils.
You knew a week in advance if it was going to be a repeat.
Yeah.
At least you had that. That was about it, but at least you had that.
Well, it was great, especially if you watch a lot of late night television or did a lot of late night taping when your local affiliate may not have the same schedule as most affiliates. So your TV Guide for your area would be very helpful. But it was great, and yeah, I don't know, guys. Favorite episodes. I think we put this out here a little bit, but I'm gonna go around and ask everybody their favorite episodes that they could name.
One of them was their aging episode where they go on a boat, and because they spend so long there, they just rapidly age. And they've got to try and find a cure. That's one where Scully doesn't look attractive.
How dare you, sir? How fucking dare you?
See, you started a fight, Krychek.
I'll cut off the other fucking hand.
That baseball bat.
Oh, Jesus, Ethel, that's a hard one.
Yeah, I know.
Episodes. I'm probably going to go with Toombs and Squeeze. And I know I'm cheating by saying both them, but Eugene Toombs and the actor who plays him is a great fucking actor. He was like so fucking scary, and the fact that he had to make a cocoon out of paper mache and stomach bile, and it's like, what the fuck? Again, there's ice. There's oh Christ, Jesus Christ. Might as well ask what my favorite fucking color is. It's just god damn, it's such a, I don't know, it's just, yeah, I'm gonna go with Squeeze and Toombs because it's just that encompasses the X-Files. When I think of the X-Files, I think of that, or I think of as you said, the Elmeyer Flask. Or I'm saying more fucking episodes. No, Squeeze and Toombs. Okay, Squeeze and Toombs. I'm leaving it at that.
Squeeze and Toombs. All right. Okay. All right. Good answers. You could pick as many as you want. So if you need to go to 3 or 4, you're allowed. It's cool. So I'm sort of doing this for the benefit of anybody who hasn't really seen it or watched too much of it, and because it's going to be a nice segue into my little list.
I guess I'll go. I think my favorite one, and I think this is what it was called, was from the 2nd or 3rd season, Gargoyles.
Oh.
Where it's a possession episode where the guy has been it's with Red from that 70s show. He's Mulder's mentor in it, in the FBI, and they're chasing the serial killer who's been possessed by a demon and has been killing people. That one, and then there's another one that they did, the other vampire episode that happened early in the season. I think when Scully, when Gillian Anderson was away on maternity leave in the 2nd season, and doesn't Mulder bind that vampire chick to kind of
come to terms with like Scully. Yeah.
That was a really, really dark episode, and they arrested that guy, and he keeps trying to tell them that he's a vampire, but they don't believe him. And then the sun comes up in the jail cell, and he just spontaneously combusts, like right there in the jail cell. And it's like, it's like one of the freakiest things I've ever seen. So that and gargoyles.
So great recommendations, great episodes to like a lot, or to have for favorites. Jen, I know you don't really, or no, wait, you know what? Wait, I'll save you and Trench for last because you have. Am I right to say you guys have the least?
Yeah, I'm not as okay. I did watch a couple episodes for this stream, but yeah, I'm not very familiar with it. So, but I do have a favorite.
I do.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Trenchy. Go ahead.
No.
I've only seen like 4 episodes.
Okay. So this is like this will probably help you guys out a little bit, but I will ask you guys the ones out of the ones you've seen recently that you like the most. But DMC, what would you recommend? What would you like? What you got to say?
One that stood out for me was it was set in a forest, and I think this logging company disturbed this real ancient insect. You have to stay in the light because if you don't, it cocoons you. There's a whole swarm of them, and they actually cocoon Mulder and Scully, and they actually nearly die if they didn't get rescued in time. So that was a cool one. And the in the fluke episode, the creature or human, I should say, from Chernobyl. Yeah, that looked really cool, frightening appearance. So those would be my 2.
Good episodes. Fun fact about the one with the bugs. One of the first times I saw that, it was on I was camping, and I had a little TV with over the air. I was smoking fun. I'm out in the middle of the woods, and I'm watching this one with the bugs, and I'm like, this is I'm done for.
Did you keep the light on?
I did actually. I don't know. It was funny. I was watching it during the daytime, thankfully. But I did have a light.
Ethel's just there with a flashlight and a can of
exactly. Yeah.
Come on, you fuckers!
It was bad because there were ants all over the place too. So it's like I already had to deal with one kind of bug, and I'm like, I got to worry about these cocooning bugs now. What the hell?
That episode is called Darkness Falls.
Yeah.
I just did a quick Google search. The one that I was talking about too with the vampires. That one's called 3. The number 3, and the demon episode is called Grotesque. Just in case someone doesn't. Go ahead, Marty. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, dude. Fun fact: Darkness Falls, Tiger, Squeeze, and another one. They were turned into junior novelizations. You could get if you were fucking 10 or 11. I had all of them. I had all the junior novelizations.
Oh shit.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I brought one in for book day, and my teacher's like, "We're never letting you review a book."
Shite.
Oh, Jesus.
I brought in Squeeze, and I was like, and he does this, and he does that, and it's like, yeah, you're never reviewing a book for us again for book day. I'm like, oh.
You bring the coolest thing, and yeah, of course, yeah.
So all right, I'm gonna go with Jen first. We'll work in reverse order, counterclockwise, as I don't normally do. Jen, out of the episodes you've seen recently, which ones were your favorite?
The ones that I enjoyed, I definitely enjoyed Home because of incest, because that's right up my brand. I like it because it's very dark and very fucked up. The other one I enjoyed was the cancer episode where she has cancer. I enjoyed that one too. So, because of course I do.
Flowers in the attic.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, those are the 2 that I enjoyed. This show is interesting. My mom is a big fan of it. I can see what the appeal is to you guys. I really can. But those were definitely 2 episodes that I engaged me. So Yeah. I like the darkness of the cancer episode, and I like the incest because of course I would. You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Naturally.
I purposely looked for the incest one because I was like, I want to see the most fucked up one, and they said that's the only episode that they gave a mature rating for, and I'm like, okay, this will be, if anything, will be on Jen's brand. This will be on Jen's brand. So.
Naturally. Trench, out of the ones you've watched most recently, which ones did you enjoy the most?
Oh, well, my favorite probably the Jersey Devil one because that was like the first episode I saw of the X-Files, and I like the subversion of like you think it's gonna be the real Jersey Devil and it's just like a person. But I also really like the computer one you recommended to me, and the Hills Have Eyes one because there was like a dead baby in it, and I was not expecting that.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Why I like
the
that.
werewolf one too.
And of course, it's kind of a fun, neat coincidence that I'm doing this stream tonight because I didn't plan on this. I didn't expect this because we decided to do this weeks ago. But Comet TV, if you're in America and you have over-the-air television or your cable company carries the over-the-air stations in your package, Comet TV today is doing an X-Files marathon. I think they started at 2:00, and it's all the Dana Scully centered episodes that they're playing today. So it's kind of neat coincidence.
You used to get those on like Thanksgiving or something like that. They, back in Jersey, you would and they would run like 10 episodes or like the voter. They would have like I don't know. I've forgotten the poll, but it was like the voter's choice, and like home would always be number one.
The most banned episode, I guess, would be yeah. So, yeah, of course. People want to see it because you tell them they can't see it. It's natural.
Exactly.
Now, in doing the show prep for today's stream, I went through and I sat down. I had a good think about the episodes that stood out in my memory the most, and the ones I thought maybe would work well for people who haven't seen much of the series. So I put together a recommendations list, and I went through the internet to make sure I got the correct season and episode number. So if you want to go through less than legal means of watching it, you can. But my list here is as follows, and you guys feel free to chime in and drop any thoughts. But this is what I've kind of constructed as my little intro list. Besides, you got to have the pilot. You got to have season 1, episode 1. You got to see where it all begins. So naturally, that's on the list. I did these in order, so they're all going to be like as they appear in order. And I decided Miracle Man, season 1, episode 18. You gotta check that one out. I also selected the Erlenmeyer Flask, season 1, episode 24. You guys have mentioned a couple times tonight. It's good. It's a good episode, very solid. I selected Blood for season 2, episode 3. I also selected Fearful Symmetry, season 2, episode 18. I selected season 2, episode 2. I selected Paperclip. As one I recommended to John for a good conspiracy episode. I also selected from season 3, Wet Wired. Season 3, episode 23, Wet Wired. Season 4, episode 8, I had to pick it, Tunguska. And Another episode I liked a lot, which I selected, is Small Potatoes, season 4, episode 20. You guys remember that one at all?
Why does the name ring a bell? What happens in that episode?
It's the shapeshifter. He's got a tail and he shapeshifts.
Oh
yeah.
He switches places with Mulder and he almost knocks on Scully. Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah. He gets the whole town pregnant, doesn't he, or something?
Yeah, and he fooled this woman into thinking she had sex with Luke Skywalker.
She starts singing the Star Wars theme. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I selected that. I selected Unusual Suspects, season 5, episode 3, because that's a good lone gunman episode. So I selected that one. I like that one. Another one, another fun one that I selected. If you guys, you'll know this one, I'm sure. The Postmodern Prometheus from season 5, episode 5.
Cher, the black and white Cher one.
Yeah, Cher. Yeah, they go to a Cher concert at the end.
She actually regrets. She was asked. I think Ethel. Maybe I'm right. Maybe you had that information. Did you?
She turned it down.
Yeah, and then she saw it and she was like, "Man, I wish I'd starred in that."
She should have. Fucking missed opportunity on her part. That episode, the ending kills me every time. Is that good? I just did not see that coming.
What was the episode in black and white?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was kind of lampooning. Oh, sorry, Ethel. What?
No, go ahead, Marty. Go ahead. I'll let you do it. I'll let you tell it.
They were trying to do a kind of Universal's monsters kind of B-movie thing with it, and it was kind of like Frankenstein. They were trying to do their own version of Frankenstein. That's what I took away from it, anyway.
The more I think about it, Supernatural heavily took from this, from what you're saying, what I've seen of it.
Oh yeah,
a lot of the episodes are reminiscent.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
I love that the Frankenstein monster is a big Cher fan, and he actually gets to go to a Cher concert. I love that. It was hilarious. I like the part where he's jamming out to Cher at the concert.
Yeah.
Don't they also end up on the Jerry Springer show?
Yeah, with the two-headed babies.
Yeah, the two. What's not?
Like,
They end up on Jerry Springer. Yeah.
Yeah, I still love it. Like,
what's not to love? Yeah, you're like, okay, all right. I don't know how we got here, but okay, we're staying.
So I selected that, and again, that's season 5, episode 5. And I also selected immediately after that, or not immediately, but I selected very close there after that. I selected Kill Switch, which Trench has seen. That's season 5, episode 11. I highly recommend it. And of course, immediately following that, I selected season 5, episode 12, Bad Blood.
Good one.
Nice.
That's a really
What
good one.
a great episode that is, with the vampires and the pizza delivery boy.
Yeah. Mulder doesn't tip.
Mulder doesn't tip, and he almost swears. Yeah.
Owen Wilson with the buck teeth.
Yeah.
I remember was Mulder's and Scully. They're waiting outside Skinner's office, and it's like they're waiting for the principal. And Scully's, they're like, look, do not say it's vampires, okay? Do not say it's vampires. Come here, Mulder, and he's like, don't touch my tie. And Scully's trying to fix his tie. And it's such a funny fucking episode. It's a great episode.
They're looking at being like. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ethel.
No, go ahead. I'll go right after.
I was gonna say they're going to be sued for like $440 million because he drove a stake through someone's heart.
The pizza boys are. He's like, oh shit.
I love it because they're talking before. It's like, well, what are you going to tell him? Don't say it's vampires. Just tell him you were drugged.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then, of course, following that, I had Fale Adieu, season 5, episode 19.
That's a fantastic episode. That's a fantastic episode with the boss. The boss is a monster. Oh man, that guy gets his AK. He's not having it. That guy goes home, gets his AK, comes back to work. He's gonna sort it out.
Yeah, I like the part it proposes that all the like mass shootings in offices and post offices is because like there's monster bosses and that's what they're doing.
Go ahead.
They're the giant insect boss.
Yeah.
When he was strapped into that bed, that was scary, and that thing was trying to come through the hospital window on him. Oh man, Scully saved the day again on that one. Came in gatting.
And of course, after that, I selected season 5, episode 20, The End.
Okay.
And we've mentioned this other one I selected, season 6, episode 6, How the Ghost Stole Christmas. That's the one with Lily Tomlin. And I also mentioned this other one briefly, Millennium, season 7, episode 4. That's the one that was like the backdoor ending to the Millennium series.
Great crossover episode. You got Frank Black, you got Mulder and Scully, and you got zombies. What's not to fucking like? And you kids on New Year's Eve as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that should have gotten like 2 or 3 episodes though. Like I don't know. I felt they killed Millennium in like 45 minutes, and I'm like, man, I would have liked to see some more of that. Like a really well developed Millennium plot inside of an X-Files, because like Ethel, you were saying how you didn't like those ones that crossed over from the end of the season to the beginning. It's like 3-4 episodes. I would have been okay with that in the middle with a Millennium, sort of storyline.
I don't know, and I'll get into a tangent later on if Ethel will let me. But like they did release a comic. I think IDW released an X-Files Millennium comic series that followed on from that episode.
Oh, okay.
So if you're into comics, and I think you are. Werewolf, you're into comics, so yeah, definitely check that out. I'll be if Ethel lets me, I'll get into some of the comics later on.
For sure.
That was a Y2K episode. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that was right at Y2K.
Yeah.
That was when Y2K happened. That was the Y2K was the Millennium and so okay.
Yeah, and I was gonna say at this point I was making the list and I'm like, I meant to do just like 1 or 2 from each season, and I'm already 16 episodes in. So I'm like, I got to cut myself off. So I'm like, I'll do one more. And I'm like, what's the next one that I got to recommend? And I'm like, oh, well, I got to do X-Cops.
Yeah.
That's great. That's so great.
So season 7, episode 12, X-Cops, and that was the last one I put on the list because I just had to stop myself. I'm like, no, that's it. That's it. No one will remember if I go more than 17 episodes.
That was a great episode.
Oh,
but,
that's the one where they cross over with Cops, right?
Yeah.
Like the real show Cops.
Yeah, they did like a Cops X episode.
Oh, I heard of that.
It's a great episode. It's got a lot of good comedic moments in it that I like, and I don't know. It's cool to see it shot in the style of Cops.
Has a Freddy Krueger reference, doesn't it? Some guy draws what he thinks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a werewolf and like a giant wasp, like a 7-foot wasp or something like that, and then Freddy Krueger and yeah.
Yeah, the
cop car to be whatever you see or whatever you're afraid of. I think that's the trick. That's the kind of the twist.
Yeah, it's fear.
And the domestic squabble between the gay couple is hilarious as well. I thought that was funny.
That was good.
Oh, we on TV. I can sing. La la. That was great. it's great. But I feel like that's a good solid list. Like if you haven't had any experience, it kind of is all over the map, but it gives you the best of the serious side and the best of the comedic side of the X-Files.
Yeah, conspiracy episodes and monster of the week. A lot of good ones in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's a mixed bag. So it's like, because it'd be very easy to do like, oh, these are these episodes, but they're all alien episodes, or these episodes, it's all part of the same story arc, and it'd be easy for if somebody wasn't into that particular aspect to get disinterested and assume the whole series was like that. So,
hey, Ethel, I've got to head off now, but yeah, it's been good talking to you guys.
yeah,
See you, Carjack.
Have
Yep,
a good one,
see ya.
DMC.
it's great having you on.
Stay frosty.
Later. See you next time.
Bye.
I'd be on.
Bye, DMC.
But gone. Yeah, it's always good to have DMC on. By the way, I highly encourage anybody watching that is not familiar with DMC, go check out his channel. Check him out. You know, do that. But yeah, so they had a series, a successful series, wildly successful series. It ended not because of low ratings, but because of low viewership, or not because of low ratings, but because of low viewership, whatever that really means in network speak. But it continued on in comic book form. Marty, is this where you wanted to have like a little bit of a talk
Yeah,
about comics?
the kitchen is like growing up, being a kid, 90s, comic books and video games and trading cards. I had the trading cards. If you get a chance, check out the comic book series. The original comics book series was published by Manga and Top Comics, and the first volume of it actually is just adaptations of the episodes. But later on, they done some really good episodes. One are really good comic stories. One being Firebird. That is one of the best X-Files comics out there. And fun fact for all you Walking Dead fans, Charlie Adlard, who done the Walking Dead comics, he got his start in the X-Files comics. So definitely check him out. There was also IDW done a bunch of crossovers. So they done a crossover with 30 Days a Night, and then they kind of went a bit crazy, but they went a bit crazy. But I think yeah, that's the 30 Days a Night one. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. They went a bit crazy, and then you had Mulder and Scully joining forces with the Ghostbusters, and then they go down into the sewer. They go down into the sewer and encounter the Ninja Turtles. And yeah, it kind of went a bit mad. It kind of went a bit crazy. Video game wise, this is the first PC game I ever owned. I don't know if anyone else played it. This was a point and click video game by Electronic Arts, and you played the character of Agent Craig T. Wilmore, who has to find out what happened to Mulder and Scully and why they disappeared. And yeah, it's fun. It's a bit cheesy. The acting, like Gillian Anderson does her best, but you can just tell David Duchovny he's phoning it in. And then there's also, it came out also for the PS1. If you don't have a PC, or if you have an advanced PC and this won't run, you can find it for the PS1. Also, there was a PS2 game called Resist and Serve, which was basically Silent Hill style gameplay with Mulder and Scully. So yeah, definitely check out the point and click game, and check out the comics, because the comics are fun. And if you want to see Mulder and Scully kind of investigate the Ninja Turtles, go for it.
Nice.
Which it's like, what a great crossover that is, you know? You get them with the Ninja Turtles, you get them with the Ghostbusters.
I'm curious about the 30 Days a Night, because I own quite a few of those graphic novels. That sounds interesting, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Steve Niles, who done the original 30 Days a Night story, done it. and it's IDW and DC crossover. So you can,
All right, I'll take a
probably
look.
find it online on the DC kind of website.
Okay. Cool.
Which it's a show that that's gonna it sticks around even after it's somewhat lost its steam, and it's back again. I mean, does anybody have any information currently about the reboot or the rejuvenation of the show? Or
I heard bits and pieces, and like I'm hearing Anderson. She's still interested, but then she turned around and said, "I don't want to play Scully anymore," and the company's kind of like, I don't want to be Mulder, so I'm really worried we're gonna end up with some kind of fucking reboot show.
Oh, don't say that! Don't say that.
That could be the worst thing they could do. Like like, all right, here's the thing: if they want to reboot it, don't bother. If you want to continue it, but you want to have like new actors play different roles, like maybe you have another team, another skeptic believer team picking up.
I'm just worried they're gonna try and keep it like up with the new kids. My Instagram is haunted. What the fuck? Like, don't do that. Don't do like fucking haunted Instagram or fucking my TikTok is by the devil or some fucking shit like that.
Well, we already know that. Jesus. What? Yeah, I could see them doing something with a new team of agents, like they did that when they brought in Annabeth Gish.
Yeah.
She was really good, Monica Reyes, and then they put her together with Daggett, and they held, I think at one point, almost half a season of the episodes where it was just them, and they did a really good job. I could see something like that, and then throwing maybe Mulder and Scully in every once in a while or something like that. But
and she was really good. She can still do that because she was really good in, and I recommend guys check it out. It's kind of like it's the best Stephen King story not done by Stephen King. Myself and Jen done a review of it called Midnight Mass. If you haven't seen Midnight Mass, check it out. And there is kind of an X-Filey feel to it as well. So definitely give that it.
Man, that's good. That was the best thing I saw in horror last year. Me personally. Mike Flanagan. Damn.
It's cool.
But it's something they could continue. Perhaps bring the Lone Gunmen in on it a little bit. Have them in a few episodes.
Can they do it? Because aren't they dead?
Yeah.
Didn't they die at the end of their spin-off show?
Yeah, they're buried in Arlington.
It's a spin-off though. Is it truly canon though? Is it still considered canon?
Yeah, because Mulder and Scully turn up, and then I think Mulder talks to the ghosts of the Lone Gunmen in the last episode of the original series. They take the piss and the ghosts turn up. I don't know, but maybe there could be new Lone Gunmen.
They save the country, don't they?
Yeah.
From a chemical or biological attack or something.
Yeah, they're all poisoned. I think they're poisoned. I think they're fucking. It's kind of a very fucking shitty death.
Yeah, they die a really horrible death. Yeah, they get sacrificed. They sacrifice themselves. Yeah, it's.
All right. Well, if we're still considered it canon, I was never really clear on it because I never saw the Lone Gunman spinoff all the way through.
I would love to see, and I mean, I don't even know what Chris Carter is doing. I mean, aside from the X-Files, I'd love him to have him bring back the Millennium Thread. I would love to see something like that again. I mean, it's 20 years old, and I don't know if Lance Henriksen would be up for it, but that is my all-time favorite Lance Henriksen. Frank Black. That's just my all-time favorite. It seems like the perfect time to come back now. Henriksen is, I'm sure he's still performing. I'm sure he's up for it. I don't know if he's interested.
The thing is, I don't think he'll get as much leeway unless it's X-Files. The last independent thing he done was called Harsh Realm, which is basically Heart of Darkness set in a VR system where this guy goes in and he has to kill Terry O'Quinn in a VR simulation.
Really? They put those two together again, Terry O'Quinn and Lance Henriksen, really?
No. Lance Henriksen wasn't in that, but no, it was a TV show. Just let me double check. It came out in 1999. It was one season. Basically, this dude, I think he's, I got, was his name Santiago? I think, or Hobbs. He used to go in and kill a guy called Santiago. And they did have uncredited cameos from Gillian Anderson and Lance Henriksen. Oh, God almighty, Harshrealm was like, oh no, because I think he was spreading himself a bit too thin with the X Files, and then he done Harshrealm, and it's like, no, stick to the X Files, and I think that's what really kind of really killed his career in television, Harshrealm. Another thing, and I actually have a question for you, Ethel, and we're like, do you think the pinpoint of when the show went downhill was when it moved to Los Angeles? When they moved from Canada to Los Angeles? What do you think? Shooting. Like, do you think that was the first sign that the show had kind of lost its luster? Or is that just me?
Well, that might have something to do with it, because there's a certain feel that a show will take on if it's filmed in Los Angeles, and like where they were filming in Vancouver primarily for like 90% of the series. They would cast Canadian actors, people we're not familiar with, typically. You might have seen them here or there in small bit parts, but they weren't like people you're going to recognize. You start shooting in California, you're going to get people you see all over the place, and you will undoubtedly recognize them.
Yeah.
That's going to change the show. As far as the writing goes, I mean, it did get a little bit, I don't know, lost the point.
Yeah.
I guess I would say, do we know at what point in the timeline? I mean, or do you know at what season that happened?
6. I think 6.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, Ethel.
That's perfect, because 6 is exactly where the natural conclusion to the storyline started to occur. All of the, you had the Civil War, and all of the guys that you've seen in the, in the secret government, they end up getting killed. And so the whole conspiracy about, this invasion, kind of died. But
Yeah.
I mean, still it went on for another 3 seasons. And slightly resurrecting, and then bringing in Lucy Lawless, and then I think Mulder, David Duchovny wanted to leave at that point, and that's when they start to bring in, because there were contract disputes, if I'm not mistaken, and then that's when they start to bring in Robert Patrick and then Annabeth Gish, who were fine, but I mean, you're sort of fumbling for firm ground to stand on. It had resolved the issue with his sister. So all these sort of, threads had sort of been tied off, and yet, they're still trying to carry it on. I think in the 9th season, they even brought back that guy from the pilot episode, Billy Miles.
Yeah.
So, they're just, it seemed like they had some decent episodes, but it seemed like they were just trying to throw anything at the wall to see what would stick.
Yeah, that was kind of the J.J. Abrams thing of like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing now, but the fans are still invested, so we just gotta keep going. Sorry, Ethel, I put across you.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, do you think that maybe it's a mistake to have conclusions to these open-ended conspiracies and plot lines they began, in the first few seasons? Like, maybe the downfall with a show like this is you start answering the questions you're asking. You start solving your mysteries.
Yeah, it's like, the thing is, if you kept it going, well, I think that's an example of it. Like, you round it up, and then you kind of like, you're always gonna have people who are never satisfied with the conclusion. But if you keep on going, then you end up with like something like Lost, which is like fucking, they're doing the story isn't being kind of complex and convoluted for plot reasons. It's to keep the audience engaged, and that's when you also fumble. So like, I think if they cleared up certain aspects and maybe left other ones, the bigger ones, like the vague kind of aspects, like turning out that it was a colonization project and they were trying to fucking prepare for the apocalypse. I thought that was a bit too kind of like, okay, you're reaching now, you're going a bit fucking over the top. But if they kept like, if they kept certain aspects, if they solved it, but don't fucking pull your skirt up for the whole audience to see, if you know what I mean. Sorry, I'm giving a bad explanation, but I think it's better to show the ankle than fucking show your knickers. That's what I think.
It's well, I think it comes down to the what is it, the old Vegas rule is you leave them wanting more. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Don't try to satisfy the audience. Try to keep them hungry, but not bored.
You know what they could have done? I mean, they could have gone like you guys have seen that show Penny Dreadful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how every season sort of just had like one specific thread? Like you could have tied off the conspiracy episodes, but then just had, like one season that just covers like one particular storyline and kind of fleshed it out from there. Like in that first season, it was in Penny Dreadful, it was about, trying to find Timothy Dalton's daughter. And then in the second one, it was a storyline with the witches. And then the third line, it was Dracula. Even though Dracula, for some reason, had a part-time job working at a fucking museum. I didn't understand what that was about. But, he's got a gig. Dracula's got an afternoon gig, or he's got to, sort these books out. But you could have done something like that. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can only see the Smoking Man winning so many times. And now, I mean, I think even like in season 11, he was still there, and you're like, "Oh God, really?"
Yeah, I was perplexed by that.
Like he's got to be 100 by now.
Yeah, wasn't he blown up by an Apache helicopter?
He's died so many times. Yeah, he's like that guy from South Park. He just won't fucking die.
The cigarette CSM is the Kenny of the X-Files universe.
Yeah, he just won't fucking. He dies like every episode, but he not really. But they could have done something like that, where they just had like one thread, where they're trying to solve like one mystery throughout. But that would have been really ambitious, and I don't know if that occurred to anybody. I guess it didn't, or it got shot down.
I guess it's the great tragedy of a successful TV show that millions and millions love is just to go into rock mode a little bit there. Love is that it has to end. You can't keep it going, no matter how much the fans want to, the writers want to, some of the actors want to keep going. CSM, but what can you do? I mean, it's got to end. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end.
Invariably. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I sat there like everybody else every weekend, and I've got all of them on Blu-ray. I was right there when season 10 came out, when season 11 came out. I mean, we even covered that second movie about a week ago on our show because it's just this really uber dark Frankenstein episode, and you're like, what that was a monster of the week, and nobody had heard of the X-Files in like 10 years. And when I heard that they were coming back, I'm like, really? But of course I sat right in the theater like, all right, let's find out what's going on. It could have been better, but
I was perplexed. There's one scene in that movie that left me scratching my head where one of those fellas returned to the FBI office, and it focuses on a picture of George Bush. That's just
yeah.
The fuck was that about?
Well, that was right at the time Bush's term had just ended. I think everybody here in the States, or a lot of people here in the States were hopeful about Obama. And, the Bush thing was sort of something that you could kind of laugh at. Although, a lot of people weren't necessarily laughing while he was in office. supposedly this was going to be something completely different, and I guess it was like a little jabbing shot at him.
That's something that happens with movies and television all too often. Is you get political with it unnecessarily, and what you do is you confuse. First off, you confuse part of the audience who is either non-political or from away. And the other thing is you date it horribly. Like now you can watch that and you're always going to be like, oh yeah, this is like at the end of the Bush years.
Yeah. 2008. It was 2008. Yeah.
But that means nothing. That means nothing to me who lives in another fucking continent. It's like,
That's a good point.
Like what's an Irishman or a Brit or a New Zealander going to get out of that? Nothing. You get nothing out. You're like, oh, look, that's that silly American king. I mean,
the Brits might have gotten something out of it. They weren't crazy about Bush either, but yeah, you're right. You're right. There was no, especially in that episode.
They're all, but the Brits are always overly opinionated about American stuff anyway. Anyway, not to alienate the British. I love you, British people, but yeah, it is what it is. It's a lesson that Hollywood never seems to learn. Is don't get political when you don't need to be. Like honestly, the fuck.
Fair enough.
But hey, it is what it is. They took their jab, they had their fun, and they confused everybody who's an American. So yeah, everything ends, and that seems to be a good way to round things off, guys. Any final thoughts on the X-Files franchise as a whole, or things you want to note before we start padding out the show?
I don't know if I mentioned it, but it is streaming on Hulu right now. So if anybody's got Hulu, you can pull up all the episodes. And I think they have both movies on there too. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Excellent. And both movies available in your local 99-cent bin of your video store.
Yeah, they're worth far more than that, but yeah, they are.
That's where I got my copy of the second movie, disc only, 97-cent bin.
All right. I think I paid more than that.
I'm like, score. I can make my own case. But yeah, it's great, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm hopeful for what they might try to do or might not try to do with a reimagining or a reboot or a continuation. I don't know whatever they plan on doing.
Instagram is haunted.
I would say this. At this point, I mean, I hate to get all ageist, but like both of them are probably hitting hard for 60. I would be okay if they just kind of left it alone. The last 2 seasons were not the best. The Monster of the Week episodes, like I said, there's one in there that's in particular that's just one of the best episodes of all time, and I should have mentioned it when I talked about my episode. But I'm not sure they should try it again.
A Werewolf, is it a Jamie Lee Curtis situation where you're afraid that her adult diaper is going to break and she's going to slip in her shit and break her hip?
No, it's not that. It's just I don't know that there's any more ground to cover. Which is my that is my Jamie Lee Curtis argument. But that doesn't seem to be stopping anybody. So.
It's my argument is I don't want to see this old lady run around in the movie anymore. I don't want to see it. Like, I've seen it. It's done. She's done her part. Honestly, after the second movie, we didn't need any more Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think 15 years ago, someone said that about Anthony Hopkins, and they're like, why is he still making horror movies? If you can run 2 steps at a time, you could just outrun the guy. It's just things that make absolutely no sense. But, that has nothing to do with anything. So.
But yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, what are we to expect? Who knows? We'll see it when it happens. But winding down as I typically do, I am going to give everybody a chance to plug their thing and advertise. That's what we all do here. We all like to give each other a shout. Give a shout out, as the children say. And I'm going to start clockwise motion as I normally do with the person to my right, and to my right here is Trenchy. Trench, what's coming down the pike, buddy? What's next?
I don't know when I'm gonna be doing the next video, but the next video will be a tag video made by John Steele because he asked me to do it, but I have no idea when I'm gonna do it.
Very cool.
Very cool. Excellent. Jen, what's the next review from the grave that we got to look forward to? What's coming up next?
Before I do that, I just want to say rest in peace, William Hurt. It just came across my thing. We lost William Hurt today.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him. 71, 72. So I really liked him as an actor. So that's a sad loss. Too bad. As for, go ahead.
R.I.P. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he made some great movies, both from the early '80s to now. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Had some iconic roles. As for what is coming up next on the grave, Christian and I will be doing another Tales from the Crypt episode in our Tales from the Crypt retrospective, and on this next coming Sunday, it'll be my turn, and I will be hosting with Ethel and maybe a few other people a Sex and the City stream.
Yes.
So yeah. So and any gentleman who is into Sex and the City, this is not a female thing. If any gentleman would like to be a part of the panel, you guys are more than welcome. I'd love to hear a guy's point of view on a show that's generally considered a more feminine show. I love to get a male's perspective. So all males are welcome. If you have a penis, you're welcome.
Yeah. Don't be bashful. No one judges your love for Sex and the City. It's a good show.
Yeah. So that's about it for my end, at least for now. Oh, and I think if X is coming out, me and Christian will be having a review on X. I think it's coming out this week, so we'll probably be having a review on X as well.
Ooh, excellent. Very good. American Werewolf in New Jersey. What's coming down the line, buddy? What's up?
Let's see. On Wednesday, I've got a review for a movie I just saw recently, and one of the best possession movies I can think of in recent memory from A24, The Black Coat's Daughter.
Oh, good movie.
Yeah, which kind of blew my fucking socks off. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was just that fucking good that I just kicked it ahead of everything, and I'm gonna get into that on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I'm reviewing a found footage movie, another one that I just recently discovered, but I'm having some scheduling changes, and I'm going to get into that. It's available on Tubi if anybody's interested, called The Conspiracy, which was just a fantastic, it's like a found footage movie about a documentary, or yeah, it almost is a documentary. It's that fucking weird, but it's that good. So yeah, Wednesday, Black Coat's Daughter. Thursday, The Conspiracy.
Very cool.
Excellent. And Marty, Trash Picture Show. What's the next thing to go? What's up?
Well, because it's Paddy's Day on Thursday, I have decided to do what I've been generously invited by Jen to watch Leprechaun in Space. And hey, it's the closest an Irishman is going to get into space, so I'm going to fucking have to watch it. I'm also going to be doing a countdown of the top Irish horrors that you must watch. And no, Leprechaun won't be on there. These are going to be movies made in Ireland by Irish people, set in Ireland. So yeah, they're going to be in there. And there's some fucking crackers that really need a bit of attention. And I'm also going to be cameoing in Gory B's review of the original Leprechaun. So keep your peepers and ears particularly peeped for that.
Marty, when you do that, send me the link to the YouTube when you do that top Irish horror. I'm sure there will be some fucking crackers in that one, man.
Oh,
yeah, that's some serious shit. Yeah, look forward to that.
Should be great. It'll be great.
It'll be great, guys. And also, anyone, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to fucking put up a video if people don't understand. We do not eat cabbage and corned beef. It's bacon and cabbage. For the love of fuck, stop eating cabbage and corned beef. That's fucking gross.
It's good. It's good.
Fine, you eat it, Trenchy, but don't say it's fucking Irish cuisine, okay?
Okay, I won't claim it's Irish. I'll just eat it.
Right. It's a pseudo-Irish tradition.
That would be like mixing ramen noodles with fucking chilies and going, hey, it's Japanese food. No, it's fucking not, okay?
It's what Americans who believe that they're Irish say that Irish eat.
God.
It's that, Marty. It's what that guy that comes to your country and remarks on how green it is, who says that his great-great-grandmother's brother's uncle's friend is Irish, so that makes him 1 1/4 1,000
I'm
Irish
too. My second cousin's lefty fucking orthodontist came from fucking Ballynaskilly. My God, your country's so great. What color do you expect it to be? Fucking purple? Mauve? Yes, there's lots of countries that are green.
Now I need some Irish whiskey. Fuck, man.
Oh, no wonder we fucking drink so much.
Don't worry, Marty. We do the same thing to the Chinese with egg rolls.
Okay.
If you ever see Chinese people in a Chinese restaurant, they're never eating anything that's on the fucking menu. They've always got something else that they're cooking. Yeah, they've got a big table, and none of it's anything that you're being offered. You're like, wait a minute, what's that over there? Fuck.
But it's great. So yeah, definitely check that out. That's surely this will be a more Irish experience than what you experienced in America on St. Patrick's Day. Go check out Past Picture Show's Irish Film Countdown. Yeah, I guess that brings me to my thing, what I'm doing. Basically, what am I doing this week? I'm doing nothing. I'm doing the Sunday thing with Jen, and this is the off week for the watch along. But that doesn't mean there's nothing to do, because you can go online and you can go to Twitter or Instagram even. I do check that occasionally, and you can contact me at @Ethel_Cross_, and you can vote, because there will be voting soon. I haven't placed the 4th movie in the lineup, but there will be 4 movies that you can vote on for the next episode of Watch Along. And you get to help select. You just type in the name when you see the voting, and it's usually pinned to my profile, so you can find it right there. And you get to select it, and you will determine what we watch, not this Friday, but the following Friday. So a fortnight, you will see what it is, what you've selected. and we'll be watching it. And I'll have lots of great guests. We just finished watching The Touch of Satan Friday, and it was great. It was fun. Everybody loved it. Cinematic masterpiece. You'll get to pick what's next. And I highly encourage you to follow and watch everybody's channel that's been on the panel today. Go ahead and hit up Soulless Trenchcoat. Check out his videos. You know, hit up Jen's Reviews from the Grave. Check out her reviews, her videos, the collaborations that happen. Check out American Werewolf in New Jersey. Check out his reviews. Check out what's going on his channel. You check it out. This is the first time I think I've had you on. So
thank you for having me.
Check him out, and I should have you on more often. I don't know what the hell I've been doing. Fuck, you're right here. Should have you on more often. And check out, of course, Marty, the Trash Picture Show. So check it out. Do that, and check me out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a little comment. You know, tell me what you think. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. You hate this. You think it sucks. You want me to shut the hell up already. Leave a thumbs down. I can take the feedback. It's cool. It happens. You know, just let me know. I can change. Let me change. I'll change. And if you really like it and you're really enthused with it, you want to be notified every time I do this, you need to be in the know. Subscribe. Yeah, hit the bell. Do all that good stuff. Do the whole "Hey YouTube" thing, and you'll be notified every time I do one of these kinds of things, or every time I do a watch along. And you know, you'll be Johnny on the spot or Janie on the spot, depending on your gender. And yeah, it'll be fun. And I say, if you want to talk to me or you want to vote for the stuff, contact me on Twitter or Instagram. I'll talk to you. I might take a day or two, but I'll get back to you. I always do. So yeah. And with that, I want to thank everyone who's in the chat. We had Scott Stevens, we had John Steele, we had DMC Campbell, we had American Werewolf in New Jersey, we had Monty G, the Horror Miser, we had Ben Grimm, we had who else did we have, guys? Am I missing somebody? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan's Horror. We had him in here. Yeah, I don't want to leave anybody out, and so I want to thank them, and I want to thank anybody who was in the chat that didn't say anything and they were just sort of lurking around in the darkness. I see you there. I hear you scratching around. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time, either over on Jen's channel or over here again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, everybody. Adios.
Truth is out there.